We're ready to go, Martin. Here we go. Here we go.
Here we go.
All right, I've just got to mute myself. There we go. Yes, everybody, watching the West Ham Network. Hope you're all safe and well. Don't know why my screen's doing that, but we're all right. Look, we're properly. Yeah. We're all right. It's match day, late afternoon.
Lovely afternoon.
Beautiful, crisp, and the start of the Lopetegui era. It's the Graham Potter era now. Yeah. I'm here with the main man, Martin C, at the Hammers fan zone. The reason why we are at the Hammers fan zone is we have a very special guest attending later on today. We have got super Tomas Repka. How exciting. He's in London.
He's excited.
He looks menacing, even with that picture.
He's just sent us a picture through, and it's meant to be quite welcoming. He looks like he's there for a fight. Exactly. He's brilliant. I love it.
Exactly. He looks like a casual, doesn't he? Yeah. He looks like an ultra. But he's going to be here at the fan zone. He's going to be here 5:30 apparently. I'm just going to turn this down so but he's going to be at 5:30, and excited. You're going to be seeing him signing photos, cross hammers, all that type of stuff. It's going to be good fun. And if you don't know where we are at the fan zone, it's down here. Big thing here if you don't know what it is. Big orbit.
It's like a curly-whirly thing.
It's a curly-whirly thing. And Martin's here from, he'll be here at 5:30, won't he? 5:30. What time do people start getting in?
Normally I'd say from about 5 o'clock today. It might be there a little bit earlier as well, but I don't know. I think it'll be about then,
And why not? It's a beautiful sun. Quite autumnal, although it's winter.
It's warm,
beautiful.
Lovely and warm.
It's warmed up a little bit. It's been bloody freezing the last few days, isn't it?
Yeah,
bloody freezing. But obviously, we welcome Fulham, first of two London derbies. Are you excited for the Potter era, Martin?
I am excited for the Potter era. I wanted Graham 7 months ago. To be totally honest with you, I still can't understand why we didn't get him 7 months ago. But we've had Julian Lopetegui. I think, like a lot of supporters, I was a little bit surprised at that appointment at the time. I don't want to look backwards, by the way, but I was a bit surprised. But like many supporters that I spoke to over here and everywhere around, we was happy to go along with it. Yeah. Listen, it's someone else's judgment. We'll go along with it, and if it worked, it worked. And we all wanted him to succeed over here. It hasn't it hasn't come to fruition.
No.
And here we are under Graham Potter.
Yeah, and I think we've just seen, we've got some comments in a chat, and it does seem a renewed sense of optimism.
Yeah.
And that's what we want. I'm not being funny. We don't ask for much, do we, as a West Ham fan?
Not at all.
It does seem to be a real excitement going into the game, and obviously a lot more exciting than the last time we were at London Stadium, the Liverpool game. And
we sort of knew what was coming. We've been getting pumped. Yeah, we knew what was coming, and unless we was gifted a miracle that day, we were never gonna get a result against Liverpool. And what happened. We got the same against Arsenal over here as well. When I see the people come back here, they were coming back to the fan zone. They were coming back after 10, 15 minutes into the game. And by half time, this place was full. Why? Because they weren't enjoying what they were seeing over there.
And that's what we want to do. I mean, we never, as I've always said, we're never going to win the title. We never get, we've won. We've won one trophy in 40 odd years. We don't ask for a lot. We just ask to be entertained and enjoy the football. And I really think under Potter we're going to be seeing something different. And with probably the first half of the Aston Villa game rather than the second half. Second half was very much back to West Ham in general, but that first half, we just seem to be on the front foot, pressing.
Yeah.
It's not hard. Although I think we're at a situation tonight where we've got quite a few players out. Obviously, Fulkrug, and I don't think you see Somerville. I think he's still he was touch and go by all accounts. So it's exciting though. In two London derbies, there's a real opportunity for Potter to get all the fan base on board really sharpish.
Yeah. Well, Villa was a free hit. Let's have it. Well, obviously, Graham had come in. He'd found out where the coffee machine and the toilet was and introduced himself. That was literally about as much as he could do. Do you know what I mean? So, do you know what? I think he's going to start to put his mark on the team. And I don't know how long that takes. I'm not an expert, but it's not going to take weeks. It is going to take months. But we did see a difference in that first half, and it was a noticeable difference. Yeah. We see the young boy come on as well, which we all want to see. We want to see the academy coming through. We've been, you know, there was a massive thing at Moyes that he never played the youngsters really so much.
Yeah.
Didn't bring them through.
Very true.
You know, and it seemed very disjointed between this fantastic academy. We're the academy of football.
We are.
You know, and all of a sudden, you know, we're not seeing them players come through, and we've been used to that historically. You know, with your obviously with your Joe Coles and all the rest of it. You know what I mean? We you know, it goes on and on and on. You know, our academy is absolutely legendary.
And we do have some good boys. Obviously, obviously I do the academy stuff as well, and the under 21s. We've got obviously a game on Friday. We're playing Sunderland under 21s, and there are some good players. And obviously, no doubt you all watch the academy show on a Monday, so you know exactly about them. Yeah, I mean, for me, Ollie was always the one who's going to be coming up next. You know, you look at the boys, the next sort of crop. I think Ollie hasn't really got much in front of him pathway wise, whereas someone like Lewis has got a lot of forward midfielders over him as well. But yeah, I mean, whether he starts today, I think Emerson's been training, he says, so I don't know if he'll start today. But we've got so many injuries at the moment. I mean, I'll do my starting 11 show a little bit later on, but I think you'll end up seeing. I think we see Kudus up front today. So I think that's all we've got. I don't think he's going to put Danny.
He's spoken about it.
He's spoken about it first. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, do you think do you think that's the answer for now? I mean,
for now, I think it is. I think it's the only option we've got until we bring someone in. Obviously, we've been linked to. Well, I think I've tracked about 40 players so far we've been linked with. Most of them strikers, but again, some of us scattergun approach. And as you were saying before downstairs, you know, when Brighton always comes to town and Potter always comes to town, we do always fear Glenn Murray. And Glenn Murray isn't going to beat everyone for pace. All he's going to do is play up front as a lump, be in the right place at the right time. And that was Fulkrug's. That's who I want us to get, like maybe someone who's not going to be a spring chicken, but can come in and just be that guy who's going to just nod him off to Bone when he comes back, and Kudus and Somerville. And that's how you win the game. That's how Brighton always won games, by that. But also be clinical enough. So when there was a chance, like Fulkrug, like he had literally one half chance the whole game in that Villa game, and he put it in. That's, you know, not the Villa game, it's a Man City game. That's what you need. Yeah, I think we desperately need. We do need a centre half as well.
Don't you think though, Russ? It's been a massive problem now. When was the last, useful striker? When was the last striker
consistent? Yeah, consistent.
How long? We're talking Ashton. How far do we have to go back?
Sacco, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But he was like, and he was a real punt, but you look at his career now, and he hasn't got a career now.
No.
Ashton was always my number one. He was always
classy.
Yeah, he was just the striker. He could do it all. But apart from that, a fit Andy Carroll, but he was never fit. No. You got to think the types of players. We've had Chicharito come through the door. We've had the likes of Haller. We've had the likes of Skamaka. We've had some. For some reason that he's always been our Achilles heel since probably Ashton. You're probably right. 2006.
Yeah. It's a long time ago. We're talking nearly 20 years ago now.
But it is. It's absolutely mental when you think about it. How, you go through our probably most successful strikers over the last 20 years, and all of them aren't strikers. You think here, Arnautovic, converted right winger. Antonio, converted right winger. Yeah. Bowen, converted right winger. It just, for some reason, it's just strikers don't work with West Ham. But it might be the setup, and I don't know. It's a really strange thing when you look at it. People have gone through all the stats and stuff, and how many under the Sullivan Gold era strikers we bought 20 odd or 30 or something. We scored 5 goals between them or something.
Yeah. It's crazy stat.
It's mental.
I don't know. Something's just got. I think surely we've got to get lucky with one somewhere along the line. This John Duran rumour won't go away, and apparently a bid's gone in and it's been rejected. Stump the money up. If John Duran's the answer.
I think that to me very much is reminiscent of a couple of years ago when we put in £250 million bids for Calvin Phillips and Rafinha from Leeds over here, and I think that was a pure, fantasy bid. I don't think, they want £100 million for him now. He scored 12 goals in 17 games so far this season.
Is that the asking price?
Well, that's apparently what Villa want. So,
and we've offered 40 apparently.
Something like that, or 5 million plus Danny Ings. Martin made a good point. Kitson and Hudson up top. Yeah, great. Yeah, I mean, there's some great names. Denver Bar, Tevez.
Yeah, Tevez. Yeah,
Tevez.
didn't get a
Again,
chance, did he?
but again,
he
that
was off, wasn't he?
that was. We had me doing Zaza. We certainly did.
So when Mascherano weren't good enough to play in midfield.
Oh, Hayden Mullins, God bless him. Hayden Mullins, the Fulham under 21. We've got a shout out to Martin from Dad's Our podcast. He's been following us on Instagram.
Yes, I have.
Yeah,
big
good old
shout out
Adam. Adam's a good lad. Old Adam comes on here, looks great. I'm excited to see what system we'll use with the injuries. I mean, obviously Potter put out his side against Villa, and then we assumed it looked like a back four, and then he went to a back three with Somerville playing on the right, and it was a bit weird. And not weird, but a bit unsuspected. We thought, with only one training session, he'd sort of keep what they know. But, he played three at the back, and that's what he plays. And I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens today, because we know Todibo's out. He's still in France. So, that back three, Kilman, Mavropanos, whether he plays Wan-Bissaka there, which I prefer, whether he plays Soufal there, whether he plays Cresswell there. I mean, there's a few options there. I think he'll keep with the back three. Although back four would be easier to slot in the likes of Emerson and stuff, but it's that midfield that always worries me a bit. Obviously you've got Souček. I mean, I thought out of everyone, all the midfielders under the Potter era, Souček is the least Potter midfielder we've got.
Yeah,
but there's something about him.
Don't you think he's like, you pull your socks up?
He is.
He's captain material for me.
He is.
Really, and that's nothing on Jared Bowen, by the way.
He'll be captain tonight.
No, he is. He's proper old school captain material.
Yeah.
Like a Julian Dix type. I
totally agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. And I think we as fans, we resonate with those types of captains rather than the quiet captains. So like Jared is, obviously we only see 90 minutes. We don't see what he's like off the pitch.
Yeah.
We've recently is the likes of Deck, who would literally pull up games by his shoestrings. Same as Mark Noble. You look at, Scott Parker was never captain. It was Matthew Upson. But I think we resonate as fans. I love it. I love a shouter.
Yeah.
And I think Thomas, when you look at, I always define West Ham players in terms of the ones the fans get on board with as either a Billy Bonds player or a Trevor Brooking player.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get ones in the middle, like the Canyo's in the middle. He was a bit crazy and but he was skillful as well. Souček is your Billy Bonds type player. He's played more times than a lot of the ICF have over there. Do you know what I mean? So
it's very good.
But in fact, even Mavropanos the other day, he jumped in front of that bloke and got concussed almost, to stop the goal happening for Villa. But they seem to start. That Villa game seems to. Hopefully, he's going to sort of snowball and get that reassociation with the fans. I mean, you see the guys here, as you said, fan zone guys. The Arsenal game, Liverpool game, they were here at half time and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough.
Do you know what? Sometimes I sit there during the game. That 5-0, wasn't it, against Liverpool?
Yeah.
And I sat there and I thought, how am I going to go back to the fan zone and
cheer people up?
Cheer people up. How are you going to do it? You're almost on a hide it up. Don't give me. Do you know what? It actually went the other way. People enjoy themselves. They're here for a good time. We're not going to support anyone else, obviously.
No.
We're all West Ham together, so we stand and fall together. But it's really difficult, and you're just looking for something from a team. We don't mind losing 3-2.
No,
if we've had a go,
we don't. Us as a fan base, we don't ask for a lot. As I said, all it takes is someone to run. That's why we love people mention Colton, the striker. That's why we love Colton Cole so much.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy wasn't a great striker.
110%.
He would run after a ball that was pointless, but that would get the fans on board. And and it's a as you said, something like Juliet, a crunching tackle or an interception or a bit of play where you sort of are pressing high up. That's all we really need as fans to get on board. And once the fans get on board, they get on board. And I genuinely think under Potter, we're going to get that reassociation that probably we had the first 2 years under Moyes. That side, obviously, because I was still doing the stuff during COVID, and I saw a side there which I didn't see so together since, I think I said since the early 90s. Like, Breaker and that lot. They were really together. And I think this first 6 months under Lopetegui, we haven't seen that. We've seen individuals, and I just want a team. I just want us to have a team. No one likes us, we don't care. Siege mentality. And that's when West Ham fans pull together. It's not, and it ain't hard. No. It ain't hard to do. and a bit of skill. Yeah, put a shift in, and a bit of skill, and a bit of a bit of Paqueta magic. I mean, we saw a little bit of the Villa game of the old Lucas back. That's what we want. We'll get behind him. We'll keep going, and as long as there's something on the pitch, as long as there's some crumbs for us to feed off. That's it.
You're absolutely right there. Don't you think a lot of players that have gone missing though, Russ, of late, or ain't putting the shift in that we think they can put in? Don't you think a lot of them will excel under Potter now?
Yes.
Because I mean, forget the second half of Villa. Villa are a good team. They're an established team. They've got their manager who's done a fantastic job for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
2-1's about the right sort of. We're going to lose. That's the right sort of. If it can be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas these players now, Alvarez, for example, he was never that. He was never that player, but he's been the last few games.
Alvarez, for me, he when he got injured, he came back, and there's something missing. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
But if you've read, obviously, if you haven't read, go and read Shane Thomas's article in The Athletic. We did a video about it earlier in the week. Was it last week? I can't remember. They weren't very happy.
Yeah.
Players were from the outset.
But I heard a lot of there wasn't a lot of communication between the manager and player.
No. So in essence,
we don't know whether that's true or not.
Well, obviously. I think the thing is, Edu Rubio. He used to be the assistant manager at the women's team with Paul Konchesky. He's number 2, and he was the translator. He spoke English.
He would know.
He spoke English, but not very well. As we used to take the Mickey, not the Mickey, but we used to sort of parody him in the press conferences with the focus monitor and the for sure counter, because that's basically was intermittently what he used to say.
Yeah.
Well, they plotted to say a few focuses, but it doesn't say with that same Italian, Spanish flair. But it does seem there was a communication breakdown. We know there was rows with Todibo. We know there was rows with Caduce. We knew there was rows with Paqueta. There was according to the article, there was rows with Cresswell and Ings as a result of JWP going to Nottingham Forest because Lopetegui made him vice captain, then sends him out on loan to bring in Guido Rodriguez and stuff like that. He even pissed off Areola, who's apparently the calmest person in the club.
Really?
Yeah. So there was a lot of unhappy people, and he looked like it. He looked like it in the pitch. The Villa game,
they didn't want to play.
Yeah, but the Villa game totally different. They looked like a side properly up for it, and I just think we need to carry that. We need to snowball that with these 2 home games now, because then we go into some really tricky away games, and hopefully by then we might have reinforcements in place as well.
Yeah.
And then we can hopefully move forward and see what we can do. But yeah, let's go for a few more comments here. Got loads of comments. Right, let's try and find something. Not something interesting, that's the wrong word. Kenny says, I'm excited for the Potter era. As long as he gets the players he wants and mixes with the youth, it'll be a great season. I mean, it ain't hard.
Yeah.
It ain't hard. I mean, the fact is, we've got, you look at our squad. We've got a top 8 squad. We have a top 8 squad, I think. If you include the injuries, because the injuries we've been unlucky with, but we've definitely got a top 8 squad. Plus, we've got a side that won the Youth FA Cup a couple of years ago. Mm. We've got a good setup there. We've got Kenny Brown, Mark Robson, Potsy, Kevin Keane, Zavon, Colton. You've got a really, really, really good
Mark Phillips over there.
Can't forget Mr. Phillips,
legend.
What I mean? Mark Phillips. You've got Nobes, who's sort of been the go-between as well. I think it's going to be fascinating because obviously it'll be interesting to see on Friday because to be fair with Dave Moyes, he had either Billy McKinley or Mark Robson, obviously, at the time. There was always one of the first team coaching staff there watching the games at Rush Green. Lopetegui, I didn't see any there. I saw Tim Steiner more than Lopetegui at Rush Green. It'd be interesting to see what happens on Friday when we play Sunderland, because I would imagine you'd get Potter there or one of his guys there, because that's the only way you can assess who's going to be move upable.
Well, he seemed keen, didn't he?
Yeah.
The fact
he talks a good game. He talks a really good game.
Really good game. And I think he understands West Ham. This is a problem that the managers come in, like Lopetegui. I don't think he really understood West Ham. I think when the cameras were in front of him, he talked a very good game.
Yeah.
He would say all the right things. He was probably told to say the right things, to be fair. Because you have to press people with you. There's always a brief on what's going to get asked. And he said to stand, and we we was all invested into it. Yeah, it's great.
I liked him. Yeah, because he talked about. Remember, he talked because he wanted to bring like a big noise.
Yeah,
and I was like, yeah, that's a really good phrase. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, and I get that, but I just think Graham Potter understands West Ham.
And is it because he's a British-based manager? Not. And this is not being xenophobic or anything, but I think is it because he understands. There's certain clubs, I think, where there is that sort of tradition.
Yeah.
And unless you're from, or no, let's rephrase that. Unless you perfectly understand the Premier League and the landscape of football, you wouldn't necessarily know the association with the academy and West Ham.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, look at Brentford. Brentford haven't got academy. Don't need one. They haven't got reserve team football. Don't see the point. Others have an academy, but maybe not so much of a integration with it, whereas West Ham it is from the ground up. It is more Peter's Hurst. Yeah. It's understanding that. And for me, when he's had his couple of press conferences, he's come across naturally like he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Rather than maybe
he has himself, though, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Look at his journey through. I didn't realise how far back he's gone from grassroots basically all the way up.
Good point.
And I think he understands that. Therefore, he's going to be pro bringing the academy through, that's how he's going to work. And I want to see, as a fan, I want to come over here and I just want to come away thinking we had a go, and not just to take part and a pat on the head. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about winning games, winning them the right way.
I agree.
We go back to David Moyes very quickly. Fantastic manager, got us a cup, but his brand of football, in my opinion, had run its course.
Yeah.
And that was the general. No one just. It wasn't a Moyes out type thing, No. It wasn't this big thing. It was, and we had a lot of people saying when we got Lopetegui, we was getting in the doldrums a little bit, a month or 2 months ago, whatever it was. They were saying that be careful what you wish for. But we didn't wish for Lopetegui.
No.
You know what I mean? So as you say, Potter's come in. He seems to understand us.
Yeah.
He seems to understand the way West Ham works. He seems to understand the fans so far. It's early days yet. Let's not run away with it too much. But he's certainly said the right things. Do you know what? When he come in on his debut press conference, I thought he looked like the cat that was got the cream.
Yeah,
he looked like he hadn't slept.
Yeah.
And I think he said that as well.
Yeah.
He obviously hadn't really slept well that night. A million things buzzing around his head.
Totally.
He just looked like a kid who was excited to get cracking, And that's what we want to see.
It's not, and again, it's infectious. If we see that in the press conferences, if we see that in the post-match and his little social media clips and on the training ground videos that the club do, we buy into that. We'll buy into that because we bought into all the negativities. We always do that quick enough as well.
Well, we did with Pardew, didn't we? I mean, do you remember when he playoff final, FA Cup final? And do you know what? I remember he brought out this T-shirt more than just a football team.
He's the one, He
was the one, and he obviously Moore was spelled as in Bobby Moore. And I ain't got to explain that, but anyway. And do you know what? We all bought into it.
Yeah.
It was this brilliant thing that we brought into. And I don't know, I think he could be very similar without the problems after.
Allegedly, about the alleged problems. Yeah. No, I agree. I think, and I've gone before on the channel, so go back and you look at our most successful times. I think is where you've got some sort of connection or some understanding between the head coach / manager and the fans. And so you've got, as you said, Pardew, great time for Pardew. You got to think Big Sam, in all honesty, got us security, got us promoted. You got to think someone like obviously Moyes, the first, in terms of his first couple of years of his second tenure. You go back and Redknapp and people like that, and I just think there's that connection between the manager and the head coach and the fans. The fans will be on board. I just never thought. I never warmed to Lopetegui. I never warmed to Pellegrini.
Abraham
Grant. I never warmed to these guys. Slava did, obviously, but Slava's exceptions to the rule. But even the second season here, it was shit. So I
get that.
We've had Slav on, and so to his face. So, but anyway,
did he admit it?
He said it wasn't great. It wasn't great. He said it was, and actually he said it was a nightmare thinking about it, having been the last season of the Bowden, the amount of pressure. He said I wouldn't have taken the job if I thought about it. Because it was because he thought it'd be like cool, but actually, obviously, every time was the last time they played Arsenal, the last time ever, and he's like, every game was like a pressure game. Let's go
last
for a
game.
few more comments. Is that Tomas Repka? No, it's not Tomas Repka. It's Martin.
No, it's not. No.
Tomas Repka will be here at 5:30. 5:30. He's in the country. There's the picture. Let me bring it up again.
I don't know if Tomas Repka would be happy about that comparison, to be honest with you. But
he won't. No, he doesn't speak English.
No.
Well, it's not popping up. But anyway, we've got the picture of Thomas. He's in. Check out Martin's Twitter. It's on there. I'll put it on our Twitter as well. He's in London. There he is. He
looks ready and raring to go. He looks up for it, to be honest with you.
Yes, I said he looks like.
I hope he don't bump into any Fulham fans.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, he'll be here. He'll be here. So go on, Tommy. He'll be here. And obviously, he'll be on the West Ham Network in a couple of weeks' time, although with his wife being the interpreter, by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
He does speak fluent Italian.
Does he really?
He speaks fluent Italian.
Do you speak fluent Italian?
Sadly not. Sadly not.
Do you know what though? Just on the subject of, and it's down to you, Russ, by the way, getting, orchestrating this one. I've got to blow a bit of smoke here and credit where it's due. But you're not going to bump into Tommy Repka walking down Stratford High Street or down the High Road or
you probably will do today.
You might do it today, yeah.
Knocking out any Fulham.
Yeah, he's probably on the lookout now. But you're not going to bump into him, so it's a real good opportunity to come say hello, get your selfies with him, get your autographs, get your picture signed that you've probably been waiting for a few years to get signed from him. Do you know what? When Tommy Repka played over at the Hammers, he was the nearest thing for me to Julian Dix that we'd had at the time.
Yeah, probably.
But you know what I mean? He was a proper commit. Don't get me wrong. Julian Dix was the one for me. I'm not drawing comparisons.
No.
Just the style of play, the 110%, the crunching tackles.
Yeah.
And he liked a bit of a row.
He liked a row.
Yeah.
I mean, record signing at the time for Fiorentina.
It was, yeah.
As he said, he never scored. One of the Czech boys, obviously, you got the two boys in the team now. Obviously, Ludo. Obviously, he met up with Ludo the other day, Thomas. I saw that, which was lovely to see. As we were saying, third most Premier League yellow cards in West Ham history. Second in sendings off.
Do you know, I was talking to Scott Minto about him, and Scott's actually sent me a personal message for him on my WhatsApp. Just him and Repka. Minto and Repka had a fantastic relationship. Playing together and everything. So he's got, as I say, he's really, really highly thought of within that squad at that time.
He is. Actually, I should probably message Jimmy to let him know you're doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's it's a rarity. It's a rarity. Him coming over. He's filming a documentary about himself. And so he wants to show everyone that he's still revered by West Ham fans, I think.
So please come and love him.
Please come and say, I love you, Tomas Repka, you're a legend. Yeah. Yes, Matt, it is Martin, centre force Martin.
Centre force Martin. Keep it locked.
Keep it locked. Centre force. What we got here? Anything else? Mark's lost loads. He was driving. We'll watch the replay later on. But yeah, no, it's gonna be fun. As I said, don't expect Thomas to talk a lot today on the mic with you, Martin, as we know.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and get him on the mic.
Try and get him to a come on you irons. He
might do that. Come on you irons. He must know that.
Irons. Come on you irons.
Listen, I don't care how he says it.
It'll be good. Yeah, and he's got a present for me, so you've got to look after it.
Yeah, no.
Hopefully it's not a right hook, but you can keep it if it is.
Yeah. Don't fancy me chances against Repka, to be honest with you.
You looking at him, he looks still at trim.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I can't remember, because everyone I've messaged, like, everybody's, like, I put it up on the social, they messaged me, he's out of prison. He went in prison, like, years ago, but I don't know when he went out.
Did he go out of prison, did he? Never knew.
Yeah, for, it was either racketeering, or it was...
I'll ask him.
Yeah. Hi, Thomas. So what do you go to prison for?
I'll do it in an interview.
Yeah, exactly.
This is Tomas Repka, West Ham legend. He's been to prison.
Exactly. I think it was blackmail or something like that.
Listen, we're gonna get on like apple pie.
Let's get Mark Wall. Let's get Waldy over as well.
Make it over as well.
Make it a party.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic. Do you know a quick story about Repka? I think he was getting slated for his performances at the time, and I remember seeing him. You remember the old bowling used to pull out that little car park, get onto the parking road. They'd be stuck, wouldn't they? They'd have to sit in the traffic like everyone else.
Yeah.
I remember he was in his big Mercedes. Never forget it. I went running up to the window, bang, bang, bang on the window. Didn't care, young, fearless, everything else. Went, Thomas, he was much better today. He wound the window down, and I'll never forget. the first thing that hit me was the smoke from his fag. He was smoking.
Yeah, he was a smoker.
And he didn't understand a word I was saying. He knew I didn't want to have a fight with him, thankfully. But I obviously looked quite pleased to see him.
Yeah.
So that's my Tomas Repka story.
Yeah.
Not great, but he was just a fag. He was
He loved it. Yeah, he loved a cigar. I think Repka
Yeah,
did.
post-match fag. Yeah.
Yeah. Dad's our podcast. I never forget Repka in the playoff final when he hit the post. He hit the hot shot so sweet, just inches away from scoring his only goal. Remember his last game was against Fulham.
Was that true?
So and obviously that was the one he cried when everyone literally saying Super Tomas Repka continually all the whole game. Wasn't it? Famously never scored a goal, just like Soufal. Soufal's never, he's a right back, Czech right back, over 100 and some appearances, never scored it. But
we've had some good right backs.
we had a period where we didn't really have a right back. So like obviously, we've had Soufal, probably Repka, Schemmel, Seb, God loves them. And then we saw Timmy Breaker. But then we went for a period. Yeah, no, you're probably right. And then obviously Potsy before then Potts moved into centre half, didn't he, when Timmy came in. And then there was a period, probably until Soufal, or sorry, Zabaleta maybe, where we didn't really have a right back. We sort of played James Tompkins there. We had Carl Jenkinson on loan a couple of times.
I had a row with Jenkinson.
But when you steward him?
Oh, no. That was a long time after that. Do you know what? I got actually the suit company to come in and do an interview with players. Yeah. And I never forget. It's a real quick story, I'll tell you. Won't bore you with it, but Carl Jenkinson was there. And I was meant to interview Song. It was at the very last ever photo shoot at West Ham. So I was there.
Yeah.
So I was quite privileged to be there and everything else. Anyway, so I was going to interview Song, going to interview Noble. All these interviews blew out one by one. One had to go to physio, one couldn't do it, blah, blah. You know how it all worked on them press days.
Definitely.
So I get Jenkinson. So I never forget, I was with a BBC reporter at the time, and I never forget this. I turned around and I said, I warmed him up with, you're part of West Ham, but he's only on loan, obviously.
Yeah.
Part of West Ham, do you feel like you're getting all this glory now, but you're going to leave us in the end? And he was like, yeah. And he was having a good chat about it. No, I softened him up a little bit. Then I hit him with a big blow. You've been getting some criticism for your performance lately. Oh my God! You would have thought I've just done something. I've just gone to the toilet on him, right? Because it was the press team pulled him out.
Yeah.
And he literally, me and him were almost pulled apart. You couldn't criticise him. You can't criticise players anymore.
Yeah, they're so precious, aren't they?
Yeah. But he was getting, but what I'd actually said to him was that you've redeemed yourself. Do you feel like, it was warranted, the criticism? And I was formulating quite a nice question for him, but he didn't seem to take it well. You're not allowed to say anyone has a bad game.
No.
And his press team pulled him out. So there you go. Another little story.
Little story.
I could bore you forever.
Oh yeah. Well, people are more than happy to listen to my story all the bloody time, isn't it? Plenty of them. What do you think that we're going to wrap? What do you think scores will be today, man?
I'm going for. I always go for 3-1. I'm notorious down here for going 3-1. Everything. Anyway, I'm not. I'm going 2-1.
2-1.
I don't think we've got the goals in us. What's yours, Russ, today?
2-0. I reckon we're going to keep the clean sheet tonight. It's one of those games. And it's those games where we, in the face of adversity, we haven't got this person, or this person. But I think the crowd are going to be well up for it tonight. And I think the fan and the players are going to respond to it. I think Potter's going to get them up for it. Now, Fulham are no mugs. I think they're unbeaten in 8. They are no mugs. They are a good side. But they've got a couple of players out as well. But I think, I don't know what it is, ever the half glass full optimist. But I think this is the start of the turn. This is our second half push for Europe.
Okay, that's
I think. Well,
I'm with you.
I mean, you think about it. There's the likes of. I mean, we've got nothing else to play for. We haven't.
Any
cups. We got
nothing.
That's
a good thing, though. I'm not saying being out of the cup. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's good because I think the Premier League is where the money's at. Premier League is our bread and butter.
No distractions.
It also means we get a couple of quiet not weekends as well because when they got the fourth round. We'll have a week off there before. Obviously, we've got no internationals until March, I think. So, I think it's a great opportunity to pick up some points. There'll be some teams which will start be on the beach soon, but I don't think that's going to be us because we've got a new head coach in who wants to basically sort out his side. So come, next August, he'll have his squad of what he wants.
Yeah.
He'll have the players that he wants to recall if he wants to recall again or whatever, and he can, and that type of stuff. And bring in the players that him and Steiner want.
And I think you're absolutely right. Listen, I don't come here to win every game.
No.
We just come here to be entertained. We come here for a good time. So let's start the Potter era, and I implore everyone to please come here, get behind the manager, get behind the team.
Exactly.
It's a new start. It's a new day. It's a new dawn.
Yeah.
It's Graham Potter, baby.
Exactly. It's a new life for us, and we're feeling good.
We're feeling good.
We're feeling good. As I said, if you are going to the game, make sure you get here at 5:30 in the fan zone. We're by the it's a big fucking thing there. You can't miss it.
It's like a helter skelter.
The helter skelter's here. And 5:30, Tomas Repka will be here. So, and I would just, it's almost like, to be honest, I'm gutted I'm not going to be because I'm going to be in the ground. But I just I'd come just to see what happens. No, because I'm not being funny. I'm not being funny, right? I was talking to his wife the other day, and she went, "You know how Tomas is on the pitch? That is how he's like in real life."
You know what? That's what a lot of people have said to me. He's an absolute maniac.
Yes.
And these are people that have spent good time with him.
Exactly.
So, listen, maniac does mean that's good.
Hammers down under. I still have some hair. Am I still allowed to support West Ham? Yeah, of course you are.
Of course, yeah.
Of course you are. Of course you are. Right then, guys, we are going to have to shoot. I've got to go in and do some. I don't know. Just sit down for 3 hours now. That's what we do. But
I don't know if you can hear that. That's the police helicopter up.
Yeah,
looking for Thomas.
There's been reports of a Czech guy with glasses and a light blue jacket attacking Fulham fans down Stratford High Street. But yeah, take care. Well, don't forget to like, comment, share all this stuff. Also check out the Hammers fan zone, all the social medias and stuff like that.
Real Martin C, give me a
Real Martin C, give him why not? Give everyone a follow. We're all here, and we'll see you guys soon. Take care, everyone. Come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons. And see you soon. Much love. Bye. Bye. Irons. Right, so spread it back.